Our post-implementation review project was based on the OracleSiebel software. Our team members include Shanna Munson, Dominique Nolan, Cheryl Carlson, and Victor Simcoe. OracleSiebel is the world's most complete customer relationship management solution that helps organizations differentiate their businesses to achieve maximum top and bottom line growth. Eagle Creek Software Services is a company that does IT consulting and installation of various types of software for outside companies. The Siebel software helps businesses to streamline their electronic resources by consolidating systems in each sector and simplifying and speeding up processing time. The significance of Siebel customer relationship management, enterprise resource management, and partner relationship management software lies in its ability to drastically improve the efficiency of an organization's business processes. And we all know when a business can make itself more efficient, it will have a better chance to realize greater profits. So what are the relevant information technologies that we learned from the OracleSiebel software, who released their software to Eagle Creek, who then implemented it to Stewart Title? Well, our specific target of study is the large upgrade of the OracleSiebel CRM by Eagle Creek Software Services for their client Stewart Title Company. Stewart Title provides title insurance and related services to companies in the real estate and mortgage industries. This large upgrade was meant to improve Stewart Title's policy issuing procedures. The project took about 8 months and was worked on by a cross-functional team of consultants and project managers from both organizations. The Siebel software is mostly a standalone software, and it replaces most, if not all, of the existing software that takes care of the client's business process or anything that is related to its customers. It delivers a combination of transactional, analytical, and engagement features to manage all of their customer-facing operations. As far as the application databases are concerned, Siebel uses an Oracle database, and Eagle Creek only has access to the client Siebel database. As far as application integration goes, it does not really get integrated with any other applications, and that is due to the possible security issues. It is stored locally on their server, and it's accessed through a VPN or a virtual private network. And because it is a web-based software, it can run alongside any other application or software. Stewart does have security requirements for this software. It uses, again, a VPN, which is only accessible through a secure network. They use encryption, so any of the users do need to use passwords for security. It is not known by Eagle Creek if they do have firewalls, but it is very likely that they do have firewalls that is hosted by the client servers. They do have identification and authentication procedures. They're set up by the administrators, and it only allows specific users to see the screens available that are only available to them. They do have somewhat of a backup and recovery plan. If there is a data migration that completely blows up, that you can't use the software, that you could revert back to the old version of the database and the Siebel repository file, or the SRF. Production application backups are available in the event of a hardware failure, and Stewart Title is responsible for all their own backup process for all their machines. They do have expertise in training. Because it is a complex software, most companies outsource the development of it, which is outsourced to Eagle Creek in this instance. They do have a few full-time database and Siebel experts for the long-term maintenance after the development is complete. Oracle also provides what's called an Oracle University, where they provide training in Siebel applications, where students become familiar with features of the application, as well as gaining technical knowledge of topics such as Siebel web architecture, data access, application customizations, and translating user requirements into technical specifications. Stewart provides their own system maintenance. Following the development of it, there is a warranty period where Eagle Creek will continue to support them in some aspects. However, the administrators typically handle all the questions. Eagle Creek is currently working on a new release plan. It includes specifics of the type of development that will be handled in each iteration. Usually the whole process is about 3 to 4 months, and then the next release is planned. There is also an audit trail feature in the Siebel application program that the clients can choose to use, or they can choose to not use it also. As far as tracking components and performance, Eagle Creek has not witnessed whether Stewart Title has a formal process for tracking software. But Stewart Title does manage staff capacity requirements for its information system projects by requiring what's called a statement of work, or an SOW, from Eagle Creek. And what this SOW does is it allows for a certain amount of billable hours each week by Eagle Creek, meaning that there is a definite amount of work that can be completed each week. Moving on to the system's development process, we found a quote from the Stewart website that we liked. It says, "At Stewart Title, we consider technology expense to be a constant. If you aren't regularly renewing your technology investment, you will fall behind." So it was nice to see that Stewart Title does recognize the importance of being up to date with its technology. In the development of this process, all of the development done by Eagle Creek that was outsourced to Eagle Creek had to be approved by Stewart. To get approval for this work, Eagle Creek created what's called a functional design document, an FDD, to summarize the work plan based on requirements given by Stewart Title. User stories are assigned to Eagle Creek by Stewart Title, and these user stories are technical requirements and tasks in which development hours are assigned. Eagle Creek also uses the Agile System Development Life Cycle methodology. They complete a certain number of user stories, and then these are migrated to the testing server. And as for production, the program cannot fully migrate until the entire system is developed and tested successfully. Establishing need and gathering requirements. As a general rule, Stewart Title does perform feasibility studies for their system development projects. A specific plan is set in place for the Siebel project, and having a specific plan can enable planners to effectively implement selected long-term general plan objectives in a short time frame. But the specific plan can have its disadvantages. For instance, it requires collection and analysis of a significant amount of detailed data. It requires commitment of additional staff time. It also requires implementation as planned, or it's possible that the project could become obsolete. It was Eagle Creek's opinion that the new requirements were coming in too quickly, and that the only methods that were being used to track the changes are the user stories and a record of Eagle Creek's notes and development plans. Stewart Title actually are the ones that manage the actual implementation of the system. Their own Siebel engineers take care of the installation of the actual system once development is complete, and then Eagle Creek is contracted to perform the development of the Siebel system, as well as a portion of the testing. Eagle Creek does test their own work as well as peer testing, The quality assurance employees perform all the testing on the quality assurance server. Testing is done on multiple systems to make sure that it is compatible across the entire organization. And as far as we know, there are no beta or stress testing done at this time. The Stewart Title project has not quite gone through the final acceptance stage. They're currently involved in several testing procedures, and the acceptance stage will start once Eagle Creek stops being assigned new tasks from them. There were many disagreements within the two organization project teams, and this was attributed mostly to miscommunication. For instance, the Stewart business analyst could have had something in mind for a requirement, but then the developers may have misinterpreted it and developed something entirely different. In addition, the quality assurance testers had similar misinterpretations, and testing failed because they simply misread the requirements. This did lead to some blocks in the system. As far as our assessments and recommendations, we believe that there were many benefits to Stewart because of this. For instance, Eagle Creek believes that the Siebel application will be fully utilized because it will replace and enhance Stewart Title's current process of creating and issuing insurance policies. The application system meets the organization needs very well because Stewart Title was directly responsible for creating the business requirements and working with Eagle Creek to turn them into technical requirements for the development. The new application will make Stewart Title's current policy processes more efficient or more detailed. They will no longer have multiple applications to accomplish the same task, and they've eliminated the process that was manual. The new system will automate much of the data entry, making the process of issuing millions of policies each year significantly faster. It will also be much easier for employees to use, and it should meet the needs of most of the users. And the new application also allows the use of multiple web browsers such as Firefox and Chrome instead of just relying on one browser such as Internet Explorer. With the process becoming quicker, the customers then will get their policies issued sooner, which will result in getting faster policy coverage for them. And if there are any further enhancements to the system, we believe that this would be very beneficial to Stewart, and it would improve their overall performance. So overall, Eagle Creek considers this project to be a success. The Eagle Creek project team fulfilled their requests and criteria. The system was successful in reducing the amount of defects caused by developmental issues, and Eagle Creek did meet most of the designated timelines, so the deadlines were met. There were very few problems, and the miscommunications were worked out. We feel that some of those miscommunications could have been improved on by having Stewart Title assigned business analysts with more technical knowledge of the Siebel system. This would have significantly aided in gathering better business requirements. The project was completed, again, with very few problems, but most importantly, Stewart Title's requested changes were made to their specifications, so it was a success. We did have different data sources that we did use in the research of this project. The four main primary data sources that were used were Caleb Johnson, who was the IT tech for Eagle Creek, who was a friend of Dominic's, and she was able to speak with Caleb by phone and by email and conducted interviews to ask Caleb the questions that we needed for this project. So he was a really big help and a main source for this. The other three primary sources that we used were the websites for the three companies that were primarily involved in this, that being Stewart Title Corporation, Eagle Creek Software Services, and Oracle Corporation. We did have other websites that we did use, different journals and articles that we drew some information from, but these four were our primary data sources that we used. There were many lessons that we did learn in this project. The first one being that an organization must thoroughly research and select the right application that will fulfill the user's needs. Adequate planning that specifically defines the organization's short and long-term needs should be addressed, and essentially the Siebel application seems appropriate for Stewart, but it required Eagle Creek to modify it somewhat to fit the client's needs, and this could cause further issues. Another lesson that we learned is that the requirements and critical success factors need to be clear versus ambiguous or imprecise, and they must be communicated to the project teams thoroughly and repeatedly. Eagle Creek found that Stewart Title's lack of Siebel knowledge slowed down the process, but they did successfully work around it. Another lesson is that it's crucial that the project schedule is not too tight or overly optimistic. Eagle Creek experienced some challenges related to the unplanned changes in the user stories. The changes affected the schedule, but they were still able to complete most of them on time. But schedules that are change-friendly can help in the successful completion of the IT projects. It is critical for organizations to assign adequate resources for the project, both in personnel and budget. The budget did not seem to be an issue with this project, but there was turnover of several title managers during the project. Eagle Creek had a strong team leader that navigated this successfully and kept the project on track. Thank you for listening to our online presentation of our OracleSiebel software system.